This story is about judicial and prosecutorial corruption in the federal system and by the federal system as a whole. My name is Michael Paul Puzey. I'm 52 years old, currently incarcerated for the last 24 years inside the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And the story that I'm about to tell you is a true story. On July 27th, I was at a home of a friend in West Virginia, Berkeley County, West Virginia, in Fox Glen. I was a home of Joey Breeden's, where state police officers executed a search warrant on Mr. Breeden's residence. At gunpoint, the officers brought me back out into the backyard, patted me down, found my ID on me, escorted me to a state trooper police cruiser, took me to the barracks, the Charlestown barracks, fingerprinted me, photographed me, and released me. That was July 27th, 2000. December 5th of 2000, I was federally indicted for crack cocaine conspiracy allegedly lasting for 10 years, from 1990 to December 5th, 2000, where there's no superseding indictment in this case, as well as there's no federal investigation, there is no federal agents, there is no federal investigative law enforcement agency under the Justice Department, there is no federal complaint filed in the case, no federal agent has sought a federal indictment by way of seeking one through a federal grand jury. I went to trial on April 23rd to 26th. No federal agent has gotten on the stand and accused me of any crime against the United States of America. At sentencing, October 22nd, 2001, I was sentenced to a life sentence plus 144 years rank concurrent plus 5 years consecutive and a $600 fine. I started my prison bid in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It took me many years to find out the truth of digging, of writing, of praying, blood, sweat, and tears to find out the truth. Because I chose to go to trial because I believed in the federal judicial system. I believed that it was fair and just and righteous, and that surely I would be given justice. This is false. The federal system is nothing but a sophisticated Ponzi scheme that's well organized and ran for the sole purpose of enslavement and money making. It wasn't too many years later that I found out that I've been sitting on the actual federal grand jury minutes dated December 5th of 2000 that actually brought this indictment. The law enforcement officer that sought this indictment, along with a corrupt federal assistant United States attorney, Thomas O. Muckalow, was no other than West Virginia State Trooper Scott Dillon, impersonating a federal agent by omission, which means that he wasn't being truthful, that he did not have federal authority, nor was he deputized as a federal agent in a joint federal state task force, along with a SAC involved, special agent in charge. This didn't happen. But where Thomas O. Muckalow engaged in federal criminal conspiracy along with federal judges and magistrate judges and other prosecutors, Ruth McQuaid, to bring about the demise and the imprisonment, the arrest and imprisonment of 26 innocent people, where no federal investigation was conducted, where no federal agents or agency, no federal complaint was filed, no federal agent going before the federal grand jury, no federal agent testifying at trial. Again, I repeat myself to be clear so you can understand what this is about and what's the egregious and flagrant disrespect for liberty, the Constitution, all laws of the United States of America, and the American people. So it wasn't until 2016, April 29th of 2016, where I requested from the district court a copy of my federal criminal complaint, a copy of my federal arrest warrant, and just an extra copy of my indictment. And the court wrote me back basically saying, in a nutshell, that there is no federal criminal complaint filed in my case, and the arrest warrant is not a public document, therefore it cannot be copied and sent. These are two major red flags in any federal case, because proper procedure and protocol were violated, and it wasn't even engaged in this case whatsoever. It wasn't about justice. It wasn't about doing things the way things are supposed to be done as far as instituting a federal charge. This was a high-tech lynching carried out by West Virginia's finest, highest racist federal system. Any and all rights were violated in this case under the sun. I also learned that my lawyer filed a motion April 10th, and he filed a motion for a pretrial. He filed a pretrial evidentiary hearing motion to find out the existence of the conspiracy. Now, this is a pretrial evidentiary hearing motion that's supposed to be addressed by the court, answered by the court before trial. This motion in particular was denied a week and a half after I got found guilty at trial. Had this motion been granted, had this motion been addressed, I would have found out who was the federal agency, a copy of the federal criminal complaint, the arrest warrant, this, that, and the other, and many more things. This was denied me because the judge, Craig W. Broadwater, now deceased,